Be Better, episode 16. I don't know why I never check before I'm about to record. I believe it's better. Be Better 16. Yep. Solo this week. Jacob and me, we trained a little different on Tuesday. I had to get some stuff done, and we were able to link up before he had to go out of town for a couple days. So, getting one in, day late, dollar short, but it's here. Thanks again for all the support, guys. If you like any of this apparel, Be Better t-shirt I have on, cut it into a tank top because it's summer, of course. The new hats are in. It's a flex fit hat with a Velcro back, not a snapback, Velcro back, and it's like a breathable mesh. If you look on the video, it's like a breathable mesh back of the hat. Real nice for summer. Clean looking hat. Love this logo. Turned out really, really nice. We got a bunch in stock, so if you'd like to go to our website and buy one, please do. It helps support the show. Also brought to you by SubZeroPlunge.com. My brother Tim Kallas has a ice bath therapy cold tubs for sale. They're inflatable product, comes with the chiller. You can control everything from your phone. There's numerous benefits to ice cold therapy, and he has got on the trend, started the company, and has been shipping them out everywhere. So be on the lookout for more content with him. I should be getting my unit in a couple weeks, but there's tons and tons of benefits. You just feel better, you're happier, fat loss, everything. So if you do hear about it on the podcast and you want to support him, SubZeroPlunge.com, code BeBetter at checkout will get you $250 off. I'm going solo, like I said, tonight. I want to go over a couple topics. I do have a little friend called Whiskey Sour. Kids are in bed. Wife's out of town. All work and workout done for the day. So sitting back, talking to you guys. So one thing I did this week, sometimes I like to do is post my schedule. And I never do it to brag. It's not ever my intent. I'm not much of a bragging kind of guy. It's just maybe when I was younger, but as I got older, I'm like I don't really care. Like, it's not my thing. I don't like to brag. But I think it's good to just have awareness, right? And my whole thing is just, hey, this is what I accomplished today. And that schedule I posted is a normal Monday for me lately. I usually get up about 3:45. I work on the Be Better, the company, emails, packaging stuff, writing programs, whatever, signing people up for about an hour on Mondays. Then I go train at F45 in Geneva, come back home, shower, go to work. Then I usually pick my daughter up, take her to theater. She has theater right now. And then while she's at theater, the parents really can't stay. So I go and do another workout at F45 because I'm right down the road. Then half the time there's T-ball, half the time there's not. Usually help put the kids to bed. Then end up working out again because I'm lagging in my chest. So I wanted to train my chest again. And then I usually have about a half hour for my wife at night to hang out, catch up, help her with anything, and then go to bed at 10. That 10 to 3:45 is about my sweet spot. If I can get to bed at 10, I'm up at 4 and I'm ready to go, or before 4. I set my coffee pot for 4, and I try to beat it every day. I try to beat that coffee pot because then that's one thing I've already accomplished getting out of bed. So it might sound silly, but it's actually practical and it does help me. But the funny thing is about this is, like, I'll put it on Facebook too, and then some guy will share it and like, oh, this guy's nuts, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden you just start getting haters. Like, yeah, if I was him, I'd get an hour extra sleep, drop the workout, and maybe people could stand to be around him. And to me now, it makes me laugh. Maybe when I was younger, it bothered me. Usually those things really didn't get to me because it's internet BS. And usually I think it's funny or it fuels me. But it's never to just show off, right? It's never to brag. It's just look at how I'm trying to be better. Here's my schedule. I'm no different than anybody else. I'm a dad, job, normal guy. I'm really, really dedicated to training right now, and this is how I fit it in. Am I training for 2 hours at a time? No. One of the workouts was 30 minutes, one was 45, the other one was 40, right? So I'm fitting things in, and I'm just showing people this is how I do it, this is how I feel accomplished, and this is how I personally be better. So hopefully when you see these kind of posts from me, I think a lot of people can respond to them and just be like, I do get a fair amount of people that say like, wow, I can't believe you do all that in a day. That is kind of inspiring to me to now go throw in a workout and get up a little bit earlier, do something else, add things in my schedule, because if Tom could do it, maybe I can do it. And that's kind of my whole point of the whole thing. So I'll post those from time to time just to get people fired up and be like, hey, maybe I'm not that busy. And if I really tried, I bet I could squeeze another 30, 45, 60 minutes into my day to train, to prep my meals, to clean. I mean, whatever makes you feel better, makes you feel like you're moving forward in life, because I think a lot of people get stagnant and they just float through life, and every day's the same and every month's the same and every year and season is the same and nothing changes. So that's what I'm trying to do with the company. I'm trying to show people what I can do personally to make changes in my life so I'm continue to live my motto of being better. So I hope you guys can relate with that, and I hope it fires you up to maybe just do a little bit more with your days, maybe have heavier days or lighter days, but whatever as far as a pack schedule, but hopefully to push it a little bit more, because like for me, I just feel better when I do more stuff. If I sit around all day, nobody feels good when they sit on the couch for 8 hours. Nobody does. So continue to try to be better, and I'll continue to try to post. I'll deal with the hate. I don't really care, but I just thought it was kind of funny. But yeah, lately I've just been obsessed with training. Like Mondays, if I could do 3 workouts in a day, I'm loving it. I think it's, coming off a meet prep is tough sometimes because like anything, any goal you're trying to reach for, I always respect the process a lot. I understand the goal, right? But if you don't have fun during the process, then, the whole thing is really not that fun. So I try to have fun in the process and then have more fun when I get to the goal. But sometimes after a meet or after the goal is accomplished, you fall off, you get lazy, you get tired, you get bored maybe. So mixing your training up is what I've been doing, is a huge, huge benefit, because it can kind of start that fire up. I think maybe I usually give my clients a week off after a meet, that or just like a really, really light deload and just moving, right, to get some blood around. But doing something different is a huge benefit because it just gives you something else to strive for. Maybe like now, I'm not trying to get the most weight on my back or in my hands anymore. It's more of my pool's open. So first world problem, I better be in shape because I don't want to wear a shirt all summer. My pool's open. It's nice outside. I got my yard all done. I got my deck refinished. Like I want to be outside all the time. So I want to look good. I don't want to push this brand of being better and look sloppy, So I've kind of been a little obsessed with training, training 6 to 8 days a week, maybe 10 at times, just to really push it because I'm really trying to push my body. I'm doing intermittent fasting. So I'm eating from like 12 to 8 every day, which is probably giving me a little bit less calories, but I think it's something for me to do in the morning to push past, right? I beat the coffee machine up and then I beat my hunger, right? So I put it off, and then I eat at noon. And that's just another thing I can accomplish just in my day, in my own person. It doesn't cost me anything, right? It doesn't cost me anything to intermittent fast. Probably saves me money. It doesn't cost me anything to get up early. And then 3, I've been limiting my caffeine in the morning. So instead of getting up and chugging coffee, I wait the 90 minutes that they say the research shows to minimize the effect of that 2 or 3 o'clock crash, is to minimize or eliminate 90 minutes without caffeine. I'll have lemon water. Again, a thing I'm trying to overcome because I'm so used to that fixated on that caffeine in the morning. Now I can push past this and accomplish something else that didn't cost me anything. It's all free, and I'm already winning the day. Like I'm winning the day after 90 minutes of no caffeine. I'm winning the day at noon when I break or beat the coffee maker at 3:45. Then no coffee, and then at noon I won my day because I held off eating. Right, so kind of obsessing over these little details really can add up. It's not always just the one big goal. It's a lot of little things you could do very slowly to add into your day that can make you just feel better, right? You might feel better because of the change in the diet or the water or the caffeine, but the accomplishment of knowing you did something hard, maybe it's not the hardest thing in the world, right? Not drinking coffee or not eating till noon, but it's a difficult task because I'm not used to it. And it's, check mark, I did it another day. Check mark, I did it for another, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours since I've been up. I haven't eaten. Check mark, cool. Mental check mark, I beat my coffee maker. Over and over and over every day just helps me like stay in that winning mode. So I'm not, waking up late, rushing out the house, can't get anything done. That's when if I wake up at 6 a.m., I like hate myself because I have no time for anything and I'm rushed and I can't stand being rushed. I need like 2 hours of time to relax, get my stuff done at my pace, and, get my check marks in for the day. Another thing I've been doing was I've shared with you guys like briefly here and there is like I do therapy. because my whole mantra of the Be Better is not just, yeah, look better with your shirt off, train more, diet better, eat clean. Like, yeah, those are super important to me. But one thing I've never really focused on is mental health, because I've always had a pretty good grasp, or so I thought, on like my reality, my situation, my family life. And, with disagreements with my wife and stuff that came up in, the years we've been together and dating, I thought, I was like, man, maybe this is the year to, I'll just try therapy. If I don't like it, I'll just stop doing it, because I think anything uncomfortable is good for you. To me, that's uncomfortable. Well, okay, you tell people to be comfortable being uncomfortable, Tom. Why don't you use some of your own advice? So I've been doing that. It's been helpful. It's brought up a lot of stuff that I didn't really think was problems before, but were problems, and I'm working through them. But the whole thing for me is what I'm trying to get to you guys is like, I kind of had a revelation like this week meeting with her, where it was, I thought it was going to be like in the movies, right? The come to God moment, or the come to like the realization of what is going on. And it all, you get every answer at once. And obviously it sounds silly thinking about it, but that was like my thought process with it. And now I realize that it's like just slowly changes week by week by week by month has led me to like be calmer, be happier, be more understanding that vulnerability is not necessarily a weakness. Because in my head, if you're vulnerable, you're weak. It's not. It actually can be a strength. It can be a tool from my tool bucket. That's why my therapist likes to explain it to me, because she understands what I do for a living, and she could really dumb things down for Tom, which is nice. But yeah, it's a slow pattern, very slow if you're me, because I have a hard time understanding things when it comes to like mental health and stuff. I just never got it. I never understood it. So now like learning more of that stuff, like just coming to like, she's like, is anything going on? Nothing wrong? I go, no, I'm good. And we just kind of, chatted about a couple issues that I had, or, situations I'll be in this weekend and whatnot, on how to handle them and techniques and stuff like that. Because I'm not really good around being around drunk people, and I'm going to college town with bars and young kids that are idiots. So to me, that's hard. I just have a hard time being around it because I can't stand the ignorance, the stuff that comes out of it. It's just not my scene. So I have a hard time, but I need to be there for Haley because she's graduating this weekend. So it'll be difficult for me just to be in that situation, but with the techniques and stuff, and now I can feel that I'm a little bit more of a calm person, just due to the fact of just like talking stuff out, working on ways to be calmer, not saying the first thing that come to my head, which I was really good at for 30 years. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's like a sense of calmness where you ever like see those really, really good speakers, and they just seem like they always have it all together. Now, we all know that if they're anybody honest, they probably don't, and they'll admit it. But they have like a sense of calmness around them. And I feel, not that I'm there, right? I'm not a great speaker. I think there's a lot of things I'd like to probably change about this podcast in general, but it's something I would like to do, right? It's kind of a dream of mine to be a big speaker and write a book and all this stuff and help people be better, right? It's one of my biggest goals ever is to change, million lives or whatever, 10,000 lives at first. But, the idea is to dream bigger and, shoot for the moon and try to make it over the fence. So, but they have like a calmness around them where I've never really understood it, because I'm always kind of like fast paced, hurry up, let's go get this. And now I'm understanding, I think I know where that comes from, just more understanding of other people, listening rather than talking, and being able to handle situations better makes you a calmer person. And, being the alpha in the room doesn't necessarily mean being the loudest and the most arrogant person. Sometimes the strongest, best man ever is a calm, well-spoken, put-together individual. And I think that's the goal to strive for. At least it is for me. And like the whole thing about this as well is just finding purpose, right? My whole 30s, this whole year, right? This past 5-6 months has been me trying to find better purpose in my life. Not that I don't have anything, right? I've got a great family, job, or more career actually, businesses on the side. It's all great, but what is more things I could do more? Who can I help more? How do I can help a lot of people train, right? We've proven that. We've trained 500 people with Be Better, current and past, maybe more. Help people get fit, help dads get in better shape. But how can I, without being, therapist, how can I help guys be better mentally? because if you don't have it up here, you're not going to have it all together here forever, right? You can get by, especially when you're younger, with training stupid and being arrogant and getting away with a lot of stuff in your 20s, and I'm sure into your 30s as well. But at a certain point, if you don't have it up here, you're never going to be able to show it out there, as far as lifting, competing, whatever you want to call it. So if, I think my purpose would be to try to figure out a way to use this company to help more people and reach more. If it's dads as my demographic, that's fine. I think I have a pretty good understanding when it comes to dads and daughters especially. I'm really good at helping produce those. I got that down really well pat. But not anymore because they're snip snap, Michael Scott style. But I think, if anybody is wakes up and you can't think of your purpose, think about what you want to do that would better you, right? So for me, that kind of sounds selfish, but for better myself is helping others. I know that this YouTube might get 10 views, 20 views. The podcast might get 200 downloads, 300, whatever. But eventually, with time, it'll build up. It takes years to build podcasts on YouTube. I'm very understanding of that. We have another podcast with my buddy Tom Finn. It takes a long time. But if I can just reach people here and there, plug in new people, plug out, people get something from this, they take it home, they implement it, their relationship with their kids are better, their relationship with their wife's better. That's, to me, my biggest thing I think I could offer people. Not that I have it all figured out, but hey, maybe I'm here and maybe you're here and I can help you get to where I am. That would be a bigger goal of mine. And then, like I said, the biggest goal would be talking, writing a book, because I can barely write a letter. So if I can push myself to write a book, I don't know who's going to read it, but it'd be a huge accomplishment for me. And hopefully, down the road, because my biggest purpose when I wake up, I want to help people. Help my wife get out the door for an easier day for her workout. Help, get her a cup of coffee right away. Help my kids if I can see them before I leave. Help the guys at work if they can help, if I can do something to help them with the position I'm in at the time. Do you need more help? I'll drive over there and help. Who can I help? So if I can find a way to reach more people and have a better, cleaner message out, that would be, I think, my purpose. So if you can't find your purpose, maybe DM me and we could find it together. That's my thing I'm going to be probably working on. I was trying to help more people find more purpose, because I think that's what led me down this valley, whatever you want to call it, down this road of changing things, being better in all aspects of life and not just training better. It's everything. It's mental, it's physical, it's family, it's job, it's career, it's everything. Everything needs to be better. And with that, I'm going to end with something I wrote the other day. I was thinking about, I got inspired listening to some speeches or something and wrote some stuff down. So I'm going to end with that. Maybe this will be in a book one day. Stuff you may have heard before, but Be Better with Tom Kallas. This saying has consumed my life since the year I turned 30. Be better. Not perfect, not the best ever, just be better. It's been a time of opening doors that I never have opened before. Some I didn't even know were there. Others, I didn't want to open them. A big one was vulnerability, like I talked about. Another one of questioning who I am and why I am the way that I am. And finally, the self-realization of actually recognizing the things I have done and continue to do. So vulnerability. First words, weakness. Pure weakness. My first 30 years, it meant being soft and not a tough alpha male. Right? We talked about that a little bit. And an alpha male needs to be present at all times, and you can't be anything but that. Right, Tom? Yeah, right. How wrong have I been? In my experience, a loud guy at the bar is a guy wanting to be the alpha male. And it ends up being a dick measuring contest most places when I see these kind of guys. It took a ton of vulnerability for me to deep dive into this process and think maybe that isn't what I should strive for. I know it sounds funny, right? You think about the guy that was Tom's idol, right? Or what was that to me? I don't know at the time, right? But it seems kind of funny when I say it out loud, like that's what you want to be, the toughest guy at the bar. It seems silly. But some people that's what they strive to be. Maybe there's a thing called balance, right? Maybe you can wear different hats when you need to. And now I finally think there's a time and a place for everything. I strive to be a better person now. Different person, a kind person that will say someone's name, address them with respect, person that tries new things as well as talks to people in public instead of staring at a screen. You'd be surprised how much you see and you pick up when you look up. When you're at the cash register at the grocery store and you say the person's name, right? I think I chatted with somebody, not that this is the point of it, but like said the person's name. Oh, thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. Yeah, how's your day going, Mary? And then I think at the end of it, she gave me like 10% off everything. You know, just because probably no one ever talked to her. Everybody's sitting like this. Yep, credit card. Yep, cool. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Nobody sits there and talks. Not that you need to have a full-blown conversation and tell them everything, but how you doing? What's your name? You know what I mean? Say their name. It's on a tag. People are just, you're so consumed in what's on this phone. And I trust me, I get it. I'm there half the time still. But I consciously make an effort. I hope you guys do the same. Get off your phone. Talk to people. People want to be talked to. I've said this before in other podcasts on Be Better, I believe, but there was or maybe it was Let's Get Stupid, but there was a suicide, call him a cleanup guy, right? After someone has a suicide, the cops send this guy in to go to the house to check for notes, to check for whatever. And he found one that he said he'll never forget for the rest of his life. The guy wrote a letter saying he's going to go for a long walk. And if anybody acknowledges him or says, how you doing, he won't kill himself. Well, the detective was at his house for a reason, because he killed himself because not one person even said, how you doing? So that kind of breaks it down to where, like, some people are so lost mentally that they just want someone to talk to. Just hi. Right? So maybe try to think about that when you're walking around and you see a bunch of people. I might be the odd guy saying hi, what's up to everybody I see, but maybe one person needs it more than anybody else. And so I think about that a lot. That story has never left my head since the year or two I've read it. A person that tries new things as well as talks to people in public instead of staring at a screen. 10 years ago, I would laugh at the Tom that is trying this today and talking about this, right? I'd probably call that guy soft and do a burnout in my Camaro. That's me 10 years ago looking at me now. I'm really glad I grew up from the person I once was. Seeing vulnerability now as a strength has a new meaning for myself. Example, right? Vulnerability. Sometimes people don't understand how it works, right? So this is an easy example. My daughter was crying because I raised my voice at her. She looked up at me and said, Daddy, didn't you say louder wasn't better? That hit me like a ton of bricks that day. Because I've told my kids all the time, yelling and screaming is never a solution. And then here I am yelling, yelling right at them. And I could have said, yeah, well, you shouldn't do that. And do as I say, not as I do. And I had to yell because you were like, I could have said all that. I could have, the Tom from 2 years ago would have said all that. Tom from 10 months ago might have said all that. But instead, I actually showed a sliver of vulnerability. And I sat with her, listened to her feelings, told her that I was wrong. That's the vulnerability piece. Yeah, Emery, I am wrong. I messed up. I shouldn't have raised my voice. You're right. Louder is not better. I'm sorry. How are you feeling about it? Asking her how she feels, showing empathy, and explaining that I was wrong, showing vulnerability. Sometimes we don't realize we're doing it until we actually do. I didn't even realize I even showed vulnerability until I just happened to share it with my therapist one day. So that's the vulnerability I'm talking to. Admitting when you're wrong can be a form of vulnerability. Being able to admit I was wrong and listen to a person's feelings, making them feel better. That's a whirlwind for me to look back on that. It only took me 30 years to do it, so not bad. But I'm glad the change has come. Maybe too late. Maybe I could have been better earlier. Maybe it's perfect timing. But I'm not the one to determine that. I'm just the one to be better. That's all I got tonight. Thank you guys for listening. Please support us. Shirts, hats, and for the women that listen, we're having some tank tops come out soon. I got 4 prototypes in today, you want to call it, 4 different types, different fonts and stuff like that. So we're messing with that. So please be on the lookout for that and purchase some hats, some training, some nutrition if you guys want to be better. Hope you guys like the content. Be better.